lots more bad things coming. Perhaps.
Cruella is the newest Disney live-action adaptation, and this time it stars Emma Stone and Emma Thompson. A live-action prequel feature film following a young Cruella de Vil, the notorious evil fashion designer from 101 Dalmatians. Full disclosure, I'll be transparent with you guys. I'm always transparent with you guys. I was not looking for this film at all. I have not been a fan of these Disney live-action remakes or adaptations. The only one I've liked is The Jungle Book, but the rest have been so mediocre. And I really hated Mulan. I think that was the most recent one I just saw. So I was not looking for this film at all. And I am happy to say, to my surprise, I really enjoyed Cruella. This was one of the biggest surprises of the year so far. This is probably the biggest surprise of the year so far. And yes, it has to do with my expectations being extremely low because I haven't been really impressed by these Disney live action movies. But from the trailers, I was just sort of like, whatever. Nothing against Emma Stone. She looked fine in the trailers. I was just like, really, another one? Do we really need this? Do we really need a prequel to 101 Dalmatians? I mean, that's a great animated film that I really don't remember much about. To be transparent, because I'm always transparent with you guys. But I'm like, really, do we need a prequel? Do we need a standalone film about Cruella de Vil? And to my surprise, apparently we do, because this is one of the better Disney live action films. And I don't even want to say it's a live action remake like the other ones, because this is a original film. I know it's a prequel, you know, the characters aren't original, but the story and everything, it's original. It's not just a shot-for-shot remake of 101 Dalmatians, and maybe that's why I really enjoy this movie so much. There actually is a fun and compelling story here with the fashion industry. Cruella herself, she's a very interesting character. I won't go into it too much because it's spoilers, but there's a lot of depth there. I was very surprised by that. There is an interesting, fun story here. For the most part, I was invested with the characters and the plot and what was going on. I was curious to see what was going to happen next. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just really surprised by this. I really had no expectations for this film. And like I said, it has nothing to do with the filmmakers or anything like that. It's just I'm tired of these films. And this was so surprising. This is one of the better ones that have been made. And I'll talk about Emma Stone now because she is fantastic in this film. She owns this role. And to my surprise, no spoilers, this character is deeper than you would think when we get a prequel to 101 Dalmatians. There's actual depth and conflict with this character, and Emma Stone kills it. She does a really great job with the emotional stuff, but she has a lot of fun with this character. When she's actually Cruella, it's a lot of fun to watch. I also loved Emma Thompson in this film. She was such a fucking asshole. It was great. She stole almost every scene she was in. When those two were bickering back and forth, or those two were just on screen together, it is a lot of fun to watch. The costume designs and the production design, all that looks great. There are a lot of great things in this film that I was very surprised by. That I've said this a million times, but I think the biggest thing that I'm surprised about this film is how original it is. Yes, it is based off other characters from previous films, but the story itself, there are things that are recycled from other films that are in Disney, but the fact that we got a film based off a Disney character that actually has a compelling original story is such a victory here. Because like I said before in all these other Disney live action adaptations or remakes, it doesn't feel like there's anything original or fresh there. It's just recycled shot for shot live action remakes. Here, there are a lot of great things that feel original and fresh. Now, I'm raving about this film, but it isn't perfect. There are a lot of issues I have with it. There are things that happen in this film that I don't think really make sense when you think about 101 Dalmatians. And this is coming from someone who hasn't seen the film in a very long time. So there are things that might make more sense to people that are diehard fans, but there are things I remember from that film that they do things in Cruella that just didn't really make sense, specifically with her character. That all didn't really work for me sometimes. Also, there are parts of the film that really slowed down. There's weird pacing issues. Like, the movie starts off, it's pretty interesting, then it really slows down, and you're kind of like, what's the plot? What are we doing here? Then you figure out what it is. It starts getting really interesting, and then there's like a climax, and then it really slows down again, and then there's another climax. It's like the main climax of the film is here, and then the actual climax is like here. And there's some sequences and shots that didn't really work out for me, but to be honest, all this doesn't really matter to me too much, because I knew this film wasn't going to be perfect. But the fact that I actually enjoyed it. I actually had fun with this film. One of the biggest surprises of the year is such a victory in my opinion. Now, granted, my opinion is not right and wrong. It is not. Everything is subjective on this channel. If you really enjoy these Disney live action remakes, I think you're still going to really enjoy Cruella. But for me, I've enjoyed those films. It's okay if you do enjoy those films. There's a lot of nostalgia and there's some good things in those films. But I'm just saying, for me, someone who's expecting something fresh and original, this did feel fresh and original, and that is so surprising to me. I've said this a million times, Cruella is one of the most surprising films of the year so far, and I will give Cruella 7.5 Davy Daves. In my opinion, Disney moving forward, if they're going to make these live action adaptations, they should do this. They should do prequels or spin-offs. They should make their own original fresh story. They shouldn't just make a live action remake shot for shot of the original movie. I think if you make a prequel or a spin-off, you find a fresh and original story here, and that's exactly what Cruella was. So Cruella, it's been out for like 2 weeks now, so you've probably already seen it. So let me know what you guys thought of it, and thank you so much for watching. Click here to see more of Davey Dave's Takes.